चतुर्चैन अर वर्ण जात अर पात नहन जय रूप रंग अर रेख पेख को कह न सकर के अचल मूर्त अनपो प्रकाश हम तोज कही जय।
Waheguru ji ka khasa, Waheguru ji ki fateh. Welcome to lesson 2 of volume 3 United Sikh Movement's Dasam Granth Gurbani study curriculum. So I'm very excited. Today is the day where we're going to dive into the actual Bani. Last week was just an introduction to the curriculum, to the course. So today we're actually going to begin looking at actual Bani and not just doing a general talk. So the first 3 lessons after the intro are on Jap Sahib. Now Jap Sahib is an extremely important Bani in Sikhi. It is probably the most important Bani that Guru Gobind Singh Ji wrote, which is why we put it first in the curriculum. Jap Sahib is one of our Nitnem Banis, as I mentioned in the previous video. This Bani is supposed to be read or recited or listened to by every Sikh every single morning, generally after Japji Sahib. So it's extremely important. Jap Sahib is also one of the Banis that is recited during the Amrit Sanjar ceremony. So when one takes Amrit, becomes an Amritari Sikh, the Panch Pyare recite Jap Sahib during that ceremony as well. So Amrit is made from Jap Sahib, which again underscores and really emphasizes its importance in Sikhi. So Jap Sahib is a Bani that consists of about 199 verses, and it's a description and many praises of God. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji describes God using many adjectives in which he describes the greatness of God, the various characteristics, and the various traits that God has in a way that is extremely beautiful, very poetic. It has a very powerful tone, a very powerful poetic way of describing God. So it's a beautiful composition. It's very long, so unfortunately we don't have the time to cover the entire Bani from start to finish. So instead what we've done is the first 2 lessons on Jap Sahib are from the beginning portion, right in the start of Jap Sahib, and lesson 4, the 3rd lesson on Jap Sahib, is the ending stanza. So we've sort of taken the beginning and taken the end to give you at least a taste of what Jap Sahib is like. So looking at the first line here, the first 3 lines, I want to point out a couple important points. First of all, the idea that God does not have a specific physical appearance. So God doesn't have a form in Sikhi. So you look at Hollywood, for example, you have in almost every single movie that depicts God, you see God looking at as an old white male with a long white beard, wearing all white clothes, maybe in the clouds somewhere. In Sikhi, we don't believe that God is a human being. We don't believe that God has any sort of physical form. So it's important for us to understand that we shouldn't imagine God being like they depict in Hollywood or in another movie. But God rather has no form whatsoever. There's no physical form to God in our belief system. So I want to point out in the first line, Guru Gobind Singh Ji writes that God does not have a caste or a subcaste. And that is extremely important to point out and just discuss for a couple of minutes the idea of caste and Sikhi. The caste system has no place in Sikhism whatsoever. From the start, Guru Nanak rejected the caste system. It was one of his main disagreements with mainstream Hinduism at the time, because Hinduism believes in a strict caste system. Sikhi rejects the caste system. Now that sounds nice in theory, but unfortunately I think the majority of us know that almost every Sikh, the majority of Sikhs, unfortunately do believe in a caste system even today, which is extremely sad because Sikhi rejects all forms of caste, right? Guru Nanak said the caste system is not in line with equality, the belief that everyone is equal. So therefore he rejected it. Every Guru since, and Guru Gobind Singh Ji again here emphasizes this point, that Sikhism does not believe in a caste system. And why don't we believe in a caste system? Because God has no caste. So if God doesn't have a caste, why should we differentiate each other based on a caste? And differentiating each other always leads to issues. It leads to one caste thinking they're better than the other caste, or rivalry. Or it's hard to become one when everyone feels that they're different. And at the end of the day, we're all Sikh. We believe in the Guru Granth Sahib. We believe in all Bani, right? We believe in Amrit. We believe in everything Sikhi has to offer. So therefore, why are we separating each other based on caste and then getting into issues with that? Let's follow Sikhi. Let's follow what Guru Nanak and every other Guru since has said, which is rejecting the caste system. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji, when he created the Khalsa, the first Amrit Sachar ceremony, Vaisakhi 1699, he created the idea of Singh and Kaur. Okay, so we all know Singh is a last name, Kaur is also a last name. Singh is used for males, Kaur is used for females, to basically give everyone the same last name depending on if they're male or female. The reason for this new system, it's very, very radical at the time, was because Guru Gobind Singh Ji realized, you know what, if we continue to use our caste last names, the caste system will never truly go away from Sikhi. So therefore, he came up with this brilliant idea that let's take away everyone's caste name and instead replace it with Singh or Kaur. And therefore, once everyone starts using these new last names, no one will know what caste they're from in subsequent generations. The caste system will be wiped out of our own collective memory. And this system actually works. I have a friend whose great-grandfather in the early 1900s in Punjab decided that he was going to get rid of his caste name, and he decided in the early 1900s that he was going to be that tipping point in his family, that revolutionary in his family that was going to follow Guru Gobind Singh Ji's hukum and get rid of his family's caste name. And now my friend that's born and raised here in Los Angeles doesn't know what caste he is, because his great-grandfather knew. He's long passed away. He didn't tell his children and so forth. So he doesn't know what caste he is. All he knows is he's a Sikh. And that's beautiful, because that's what Sikhi is all about, is just believing you're a Sikh and not of a specific caste. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji reminds us here that, you know what, God, you have no caste. You don't have a subcaste even. So therefore, as a reader, as someone who's reading Jap Sahib or listening to it, it's a reminder that we should not also use caste in our life. We certainly shouldn't judge people based on caste. We shouldn't differentiate based on caste, but rather understand that, hey, we are all Sikh. We are all believers in the Guru. So therefore, caste has no place in our belief system. Looking at the second line, Guru Gobind Singh Ji further describes God, saying, you know, God, you have no color. You don't have a complexion, outline, or clothes. So again, the idea that God is not in a physical form. He doesn't have a race. He doesn't have any sort of skin color. He's not white or black or brown, or there's no color to him. He doesn't have any sort of physical appearance. He doesn't wear any specific type of clothing. So here we are judging people and treating people differently based off of their skin color, what they look like, what clothes they wear. You know, maybe a certain item of clothing triggers some sort of feeling in the person looking at them. Oh, they're wearing this, so therefore they must be like this, or this must be their value system. And then we make judgments based off of that thought process. Guru Gobind Singh Ji says, you know what, God doesn't have any of these things. Right? No one can describe it because they're not there. There's no physical form of God. He doesn't have a color. He doesn't have a complexion. So therefore, a reminder to us as the reader is, if God doesn't have these features, therefore we should not use them as a basis to judge or criticize or differentiate ourselves from other people. In essence, everyone is equal. An idea that is fundamental to Sikhi, and something that is going to be throughout this course as well. Guru Gobind Singh Ji writes a lot on equality. So we're going to be going into that in much more depth later on in the class, but here's an example of it in Jap Sahib in the beginning. So with that, we'll pick up next week, going into Jap Sahib even further, finishing this stanza. And with that, I will see you next week. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.